For more music, current affairs, comedy and culture, triplej.net.au.
And now...
Triple J's Hack.
Outward choices.
Disagrees with anyone killing them.
Grow up in a condom culture.
Oh, only the greenies and shit.
Today on Hack.
Now, whether you're into boys or girls or both, is it something you can change? If you caught the Hack half hour last night, you might have seen Ben talk about going to ex-gay programs to stop him liking guys.
I finished the first 60-day program and really it didn't work. There wasn't much change. And so I went back and I tried the program again. I love God so much and I really wanted him to love me and I didn't feel that he could love me unless I changed.
That was Ben on the Hack half hour last night talking about ex-gay programs. Today on Hack, going straight for God, you'll hear from a former leader of an ex-gay type program. He thinks that it's all a load of crap now, but you'll also hear from someone who thinks that they do work.
The main venue that we use is a small group situation where guys are very, very open with each other. For most of them, for the very first time in their lives, are able to express the feelings that they have inside of them.
And Ben's back here in the studio as well. I'm Kate O'Toole and this is Hack.
Shoving the J into journalism.
Hack on Triple J.
It preys upon the vulnerable and poor members of our community.
We won't compromise on the fundamental principles.
And they are searching for the truth.
An ex-gay program. That word just sounded odd to me when I heard it, ex-gay. I hadn't heard it at all until Ben spoke about going to ex-gay programs on the Hack half hour last night. And by that, he meant gay conversion programs. And he was desperate to stop his attraction to other blokes. He thought that his faith and his family and his whole life depended on it. You'll hear from Ben in a moment. If you've been through a program like this, I'd love to hear from you too. 1300 0555 36 is the number. But first, how do you go about trying to change your sexual orientation?
It to be a disease that was curable, not believing that it would be part of human diversity at all.
One never knows when the homosexual is about. He may appear normal.
Tried to grow my hair a bit longer. I tried to wear skirts. I had my ears pierced. I tried to wear makeup. I performed, really, a role that people imposed upon me.
Wendy Lawson spent 4 years in a group called Exodus, where they tried all sorts of things to try and stop her attraction to other women.
I also had kind of exorcisms performed upon me because they considered that I had demons that were leading me to be lustful.
What would they involve?
Oh, that meant before a whole church audience, prayers of exorcism, demons, hands being laid upon me and my whole body was being pushed.
Then he told him he'd see him again, as he always drove by the park on his way home.
Medical attempts to change sexual orientation cover just about every type of treatment there is. Throughout the 1940s, 50s and 60s, doctors and medical professionals tried just about anything to change people's sexual orientation. That includes psychotherapy, group therapy, electric shock treatment, hypnosis, and even surgeries like hysterectomies, vasectomies, clitorectomies, and lobotomies.
This was way, way back, 1940s. They would be shown heterosexual couples in one hand, and then they would be shown pornography, as in men with men, and every time they had any kind of erection or sensation towards homosexual images, they would be given electric shocks.
In 1952, homosexuality was officially listed as a mental disorder by the American Psychiatric Association. The result was an explosion in the use of techniques to stop people being attracted to the same sex. That all continued up until 1973, when the association then declassified homosexuality as a mental disorder. That said, gay conversion techniques still exist today, although today it tends to be more based on things like cognitive behavioural therapy or a branch of psychoanalysis based on the teachings of a woman named Elizabeth Moberly. And you said that you actually went and visited this woman.
Yeah.
What was she like?
Her flat was very basic, and she certainly wasn't in it for the money.
And how did that experience change you and your approach to your sexuality?
The approach was that I would just simply do my best to stay close to my sisters in the Lord, if you like, the other women that I knew. And it did mean bathing together. It did mean lots of quite intimate cuddles, which...
As an adult?
As an adult.
So bathing with your sisters as an adult?
Yes, and this... and she even said to me, it's okay when you need to suck at someone's breast.
So she was encouraging you to suck on women's breasts to help you get over your lesbianism?
Yes, that was even suggested, yep. When I got home and I reviewed the literature, I reviewed what we'd been practicing, I had to take a really long look at all that was going on, and my only conclusion was nothing of what I've been doing has changed anything I feel. It just hasn't, and it was an awakening to the reality that it won't, because this is who I am.
Now, some of those stories might have sounded familiar to you, Ben Gresham. You're 20 and you're already a veteran of these ex-gay programs. Can you describe what drove you to try to change your sexual orientation in the first place?
Well, pretty much becoming a Christian, when I was 16 and actually making a decision to follow Jesus and, to live for him, I was told by many in the church that I had to change, that homosexuality was an abomination, that it was a sin, and that, unless I changed, I wouldn't be able to go to heaven, or that unless I changed, God wouldn't really love me. So, I wanted, God to love me so much, I'm sure like most people do. And so I went into the programs.
If you've ever wanted to change your sexual orientation, if you've been same-sex attracted and you've wanted to change it in the way that Ben's describing now, you can give us a call. 1300 0555 36 is the number. 1300 0555 36. Now, Ben, when you first tried an ex-gay program, you were 16. You didn't tell your parents?
No, I didn't tell my parents, which seems a bit silly now, I guess. But at the time, my parents were really, and my family was really the only stable part, of my life. I thought, that if I told my parents that they'd kick me out of home or something like that would happen. And, I thought that, if I could change and if I could become straight, then they wouldn't need to know I was gay and I wouldn't need to go through all that trauma.
So it was very isolating going into this process. But what was the actual experience like? What was the program like?
The programs were different. The first few programs I did, they were really quite strict, quite intense. I would go home every day and do a lesson that they would send me, and then connect with a mentor once a week and work with him and pray with him to try to make me straight. And the second one was a bit more full of love on the surface, I guess, but with the same ideas and the same kind of techniques to try to change you from homosexual to heterosexual.
So the basic idea was if you thought about it hard enough, or what did you feel was the aim of the program in being able to change you?
The aim of the program was really to, I guess, better fit in with what they called God's standard for a man. So, in that respect, God wants men to be men, to, date women and to be attracted to them. Therefore, to be like that, you have to change. And so there'd be a lot of praying, there'd be a lot of, I guess, self-monitoring, a lot of mentoring, and, they try to, I guess, eradicate your homosexual tendencies if you had any.
To kind of fake it till you make it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Did you feel like you were making progress?
I did. Strangely enough, I did. For a while, for probably about, 3 or 4 months, I actually believed that I was cured. I believed that, I was straight. Now I look back on it, that was just hope pretty much pushing me through, because, I so badly wanted to be like everyone else in the church and so badly wanted to be accepted. So I guess, if you have that much hope,